lot of people don't know this. Where I grew up when I was little, I grew up in a little town village called Kewaskum. It was named after Chief Kewaskum. He was a chief back in the 1800s that were back then, and I mean still now. I mean, well, the Potawatomi tribe is still doing pretty well, abundantly, but everybody got along. When the natives migrated, I know that my ancestry migrated over with them, and that's why there's like that huge group of natives in Wisconsin, part of the First Nations, or the indigenous natives at the time. Some people like to be called Indians, or some people like to be called indigenous. I say Indios. Carl said Indios is like people of God. But his name means turn back on his path or retracing your steps. So maybe it's time to do that in your life. This guy, the Chief Kewaskum, would run miles to one city to another. And this is like during the 1800s, and give messages and notices of like what was going on in the area. That's why it was named after him. But now that I was not taught that growing up in Kewaskum High School. Why? It was fucking crazy. That's crazy. And it's not even, I don't even know if it's still I hope the library there keeps those records. But yeah, retrace your steps. And you might be missing something. You might just have to look again. I think that's what the spirit of Chief would want people to do right now, because it feels kind of dead or hesitant. And move, listen to music, or just move, run like the wind. I have another story because there was mounds where I grew up too. You'd have to drive to them, but there was a sacred mound location that was, because we're also by there was the Mississippi mound builders, and they built mounds everywhere. And I drove there one time at night, and I had an experience because it was really foggy, and for some reason I was brave enough to just kind of go figure or drive this at night, and I had my headlights on, and then some figure with to me it looked native, with a very structured face and a longer chiseled nose, and it just briefly appeared in my headlights out of this fog where I was like, shit, and it was going somewhere. So I don't know if that was Chief Kewaskum, but yeah. Not to mention also, the Mohicans are still alive. They're less in count because people just think that they've died off because of the one movie, Last of the Mohicans, but they're still alive. They're still here, and they're still functioning just as well as many other Native Americans. And as well as the original OGs like myself, our ancestry is still here. Well, we were here since the 1600s. Enslaved, just didn't know it. Or in a different way. But yeah, retrace your steps, turn back on your path. What are you missing? And yeah, signing off to Chief Kewaskum. Peace out.